Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. That over there is at Mr. Jared Moore. I am at Pucking Thoughts, Adam Bernard. We got a jam-packed show for you today here. Some I Love Lucy, some Rip N Rants, hockey cards, football cards, baseball cards, figure five as always. We're covering it all here today. Jared, how is the week gone? What do we got coming up this weekend? A lot of poker, I hear.
A lot of poker and a lot of not watching Devils hockey after their season came to an end. But you know what? They got the result that they ultimately deserved. They weren't good enough against Carolina, so it is what it is. So you move on to next year, you hopefully build off of it, and you're better for it in the future. Or at least that's what I tell myself.
I mean, going into that series, yeah, there wasn't high hopes. You don't have your best player, all that stuff. Jacob Markstrom did everything he could, at least in overtime of that Game 5 elimination game. It seemed like the Devils were just playing to hang on, where Carolina just kept coming, and Markstrom, eventually, he's going to let one by eventually.
The dam's going to break eventually.
So there you go. But hey, next year, maybe things are better. Maybe Hughes is healthy. We'll see what you do in the offseason. There you go.
Exactly. You were setting me up for it there. I was like, no, that's it. That's all I had on that.
All right. Well, there you go. And, the Rangers, they fire Peter Laviolette, hire Mike Sullivan, and we all thought that was, that was pretty obvious. I was okay with him or Tocchet, so nothing to really say there. Let's see if maybe the culture changes a little bit. But
yeah, I'm sure he'll last 2 years before they make him a scapegoat too. So, and then they'll move on to the next guy.
That's what the Rangers do. Find me an NHL team better at making the coach the scapegoat than anybody than the Rangers. I challenge you. Send your comments and thoughts on that to ripnriff@gmail.com. Now, like we said, we got a jam-loaded show today. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right to the pack-ripping lineup here. And you see there, we're going to go. We got everything but basketball today. We're dipping into the Upper Deck Series, too, so that means we are Celebrini chasing. Young Guns, there's the Celebrini Mishkov checklist that's been a popular one. There's a combo Celebrini Will Smith. So we're looking for those today. Also, any sort of Young Guns or anything, but just excited to finally crack open a couple packs of that. I also brought some old school football, some 93 tops. We'll hope we get one gold card in every pack, so it'll probably be some random offensive lineman from the Phoenix Cardinals or something like that. But,
hell yeah, that's how we roll, man.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't even be like Aeneas Williams, like, all right, fine, he was a stalwart, fantastic. No, it'll be like some random, guard. And then you're bringing the baseball to the table today.
I'm bringing the baseball. You see all the rookies there. I feel like all I do is pull Anthony Volpe rookie cards. So I'm probably going to pull another one. I got two of those packs here. But we got a jam-packed show. So I think without further ado, we should move on to the next item on the agenda.
Next item on the agenda, one of our favorite segments here. We both have submissions for this today, but you may go first.
Nice. No, I'll let you go first because I wasn't aware you had any.
These just, I was, late night eBay, perusing, going to bed, randomly searched for Mo Lewis cards because why not? One of my all-time favorite bets. I found, all right, so this is just a random base card I found, but I like the look of it, like the picture, like the gold inlay signature. Let's bring the Westeros Rip Cam up on the screen so you can actually see what we're doing there. Put that in the middle, that there, then perfect. So there, they got Mo Lewis. And then that, and then I just said, I found a guy that was selling some Lewis autographs, so I got these two for $10 total. Maybe overpaid a little bit, but why not? That one signature there with the 91 score. I always love those cards that have like the gradient, like team colors on the background. And then a rookie card signed by Mo Lewis. So rookie, it's Morris Lewis and not even Mo Lewis. You see the little third-round draft pick, little stamp there in the corner. So it's happy to bring those home.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, and look, Mo Lewis is like, I'm not trying to disparage him as a player or as a football legend. The Mo Lewis autograph card is very achievable, for lack of a better term. Like, yes. You do not have to break. This isn't like getting an Aaron Judge signed baseball. Like, you don't have to break the bank for that. My question for you, and this might be a homework assignment, is did they ever make a Mo Lewis card of him effectively ending Drew Bledsoe's run as the New England Patriots starting quarterback, and which obviously was the genesis of 2+ decades of torture of Tom Brady?
So Mo Lewis was my childhood first favorite Jet, and then yes, that's how he'll always be remembered as the guy that opened the door for Tom Brady because he put Drew Bledsoe in the hospital because he had like violent damage to like his lungs and chest from the impact of a hit. I'll have to look that up. I would have. There's somebody had to make a card, even if it's one of these like second-rate card companies. I'm sure somebody has, even if it's for the pro patriot angle of it. Like, hey, this started history for us, you know.
Right. Like basically I'm looking for like the Tops Now cards before Tops Now was a thing. And like that's like one of those like especially if you're like I guess a Patriots fan, maybe not so much if you're a Jets fan. Like it's an iconic sports moment. Like I would want that. I would want the butt fumble. I would want like, all those little weird quirky like moments in Patriots Jets history if I were a Patriots fan.
Who was it? It was the Sam Darnold seeing ghosts game was against the Patriots, if I recall correctly. Was another one,
right? And you could have fun with that. That could be like a Halloweenish card. You could put some ghosts in the corner or something. Like
Panini Halloween series this year. Come on, get on it.
I mean, come on, Panini. I just made you $1 billion. The least you could do is put me on the payroll.
Now that would be a nice segue to something you wanted to talk about later, but let's get into your I Love Lucy first here.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to add about Mo Lewis, one of Bill Parcells' greatest quotes about a player was that Mo Lewis would come in out of shape every year, eating all those cheeseburgers, but he would get in shape in camp and be ready. So, like, in an era before you had to come in camp in shape, hey, listen, to me, that's a hero, a guy who takes the offseason off and then uses camp to get back in shape and be ready to play. He was a good linebacker.
Well, much like Mo Lewis, I too would have a lot of cheeseburgers before showing up to work. The problem is I don't work myself back into shape. So that's where the similarities between us end. So a couple weeks ago, we did the WrestleMania cards. We did the WWE cards for WrestleMania. And I was, perusing the old eBay machine because, I don't have a lot of like wrestler autograph cards. So it's like, all right, let me kind of go down this rabbit hole a little bit because I have some of my favorites of all time. So my favorite wrestler of all time is Kurt Angle.
Okay.
Because like I started watching in the late 90s. Everyone loved Stone Cold. Everyone loved The Rock. I wanted to be different. And like, here's me rooting for this fucking dorky Olympic gold medalist who's playing like a giant dork on TV. It's like, all right, this guy rocks. Like, I love him. And he's also like amazing in ring. So I picked up an autographed. You don't see this very often. It's a patch card with like a facility, like a facsimile. I don't know if that's the right word.
Facsimile?
But like facsimile of his Hall of Fame ring, and it's autographed. So that is a Kurt Angle autographed patch card with his WWE Hall of Fame ring there. Number 43 out of 99. So like I'm very happy to get that one in my collection because it's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
No, that's like for a favorite athlete, favorite wrestler, favorite player, whatever it is, to have a card that has like his Hall of Fame stamp, his signature, like that's a must have.
Yeah. So I'm gonna poke around a little bit more and see if we can find some other like classic ones from some of the all time great pro wrestlers. But I was very happy to get that one.
That is a nice addition to the collection, and congrats on finding that. And it wasn't a backbreaker, was it, in terms of expenses?
$65. It wasn't too bad.
That's pretty good. That's
about how much I'm willing to spend on something that's like not graded. Is around like that $60, $70 range.
Pardon me if you hear my dog barking in the back. Probably the bird had the nerve to like land in the yard or something like that. So go get him, Ferdinand. Never gonna get him.
Birds.
Damn birds flying around thinking they're better than me. Landed in my yard. Yeah, that's basically what that is. But speaking of getting angry about things, it's time to kick things off on Rip N Riff with
my Rip N Rant.
Thanks, Dave. So I cede my time today here, and this is all Jared, but I am happy to chime in on this topic because I got a little bit of a preview of it, off air.
All right, so I'm going to do my Hurricanes rant first, and then I'm going to do the greatest idea that I think I've ever come up with.
Okay.
So obviously the Devils lost to the Hurricanes in the playoffs, and I know you watch a lot of playoff hockey. You've watched a lot of playoff hockey involving your team. At the end of it, so I'm going to ask you this as a hockey fan. At the end of like any Rangers like series loss, have you ever said to yourself, wow, I'm really happy for those other guys that they won the series. It's like, no, any hockey
Oh.
fan that's like a true blood hockey fan finds something throughout a series where you're always like, fuck those guys. I hate that team. I can't stand that fucking team. And that's me with the Carolina Hurricanes, which I think has become my second most hated hockey team behind the Rangers, just because the Devils never beat them in these type of spots. And obviously they didn't beat them here, but it's not just that. It's always like the little things like throughout the course of the game, the series where, this player dies. Talking about you, Sebastian Aho. This player throws a headbutt that doesn't get called for a penalty. Looking at you, Brent Burns. And like those little things like that where you're just like, I can't stand this fucking team. Like it just really aggravates me that like as a fan that like my team just can't beat these guys. It's just incredibly frustrating.
Well, I think so. You've seen them in the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years. You saw them in the second round 3 years ago, and then you saw them first round this year.
Right.
This year, you kind of knew. We talked in the beginning of the show. You knew going into the series. The deck was stacked against you. The only advantage you had was goaltending because Freddie Anderson gets hurt if he sneezes the wrong way. Then you had 3 years ago. You had that first round series where, other than game 1, you dominated the Rangers, and then the Hurricanes were a better team. The Devils were a younger team. They weren't as deep. It was kind of expected. But yeah, I get it. Like, it sucks to keep losing for the same team. And here's the other thing about the current NHL playoff format: because you're always playing teams in your division that you already have at least a minimal
same teams every year.
For, like. And I guess in that regard, that does breed rivalries, which is the ultimate goal of what. But at the same breath, too, I'm tired. Like, when the Rangers were going to the playoffs consistently, it's like, all right, I'm tired of seeing them play the Capitals. I'm tired of seeing them play the Penguins. Like, once in a while, a first round series against a Montreal or a Toronto or a Florida or whatever, like, just change it up a little bit.
Yeah,
it's nice to have variety, and that breeds rivalries too.
But and not just that, but like it's so much better for the NHL when it comes to rivalries that you're getting those bigger time rivalries later in the playoffs when the stakes are even higher. Like, yeah, Rangers Devils first round is great. Rangers Devils in the conference final is next level. Yes. And like you could say that about a whole bunch of other rivalries. Like, I'd rather see Florida versus Tampa Bay in a conference final. I'd rather see, Dallas and Colorado is arguably the best first round series. That should be the conference final in the West. Like, I'm convinced that whoever wins that game 7 is coming out of the West.
And let's bring Canada into the picture here. Like, Edmonton, the Battle of Alberta is great in the first round. Imagine if that ever happened in a conference final. Same thing for Montreal, Toronto.
Oh, it would be must-watch theater. I know this phrase is overplayed because the kids say it all the time. It would be cinema.
It would be. And my solution is, because you got to have a bracket. So, like, you're never going to go back to a reseeding 1 through 8, but you can do like the NBA used to do. You're 1 through 8, and then you're bracketed from that point forward. And that's I'd be okay with
that. And then I don't have to watch Jordan Martin turn into Connor McDavid every time he faces the Devils. I don't know why I can't speak today. I only speak for a living, so it is what it is. All right, the greatest idea I've ever come up with.
I'm excited.
So, I'm sure you followed this story last year when Malik Neighbors approached Ray Flaherty's family about wearing the number 1 that it was retired by the Giants. And the backstory: Neighbors approached the Giants. The Giants basically said, "You got to talk to his family." He talked to his family. The family gave the blessing, and he wore number 1. And like I think Neighbors handled that whole situation well. Like, he treats it with respect. I think it's a responsibility that I'm not trying to turn like Ray Flaherty in like some sort of deity, but like you're trying to honor the past.
You respect the people that came before you.
Right, exactly. Like the very first game after that, like he's wearing like a Ray Flaherty t-shirt, and it's like, all right, this guy rocks. Like, he totally gets it.
Yeah.
And then you see I think the story just broke this morning about how Phil Simms was like, yeah, it would be great, like, if Abdul Carter wanted to wear my number 11, which is retired. Like, and I think it could be the same situation there where, you have your top draft pick coming in and you're honoring the past. This is a way for you to sort of celebrate something like that. I think teams in general should embrace unretiring numbers.
I'm okay with that, but there's a delicate line you have to set in the sand. Like for Abdul Carter, who is supposed to be a generational defensive talent, yeah, Phil Simms is going to would be willing to give that 11 to him. Is Phil Simms going to be willing to give his 11 to some 6th round quarterback that may, and that's that's the thing. That's where you have to draw the line. I'm not saying it should be like LT, and I don't have a problem with like people like LT are saying like, no, make your own legacy. 56 is mine. Sometimes for guys like that, like having their number retired, being in the Hall of Fame, like that's what they've got. That's real. Like, look at what LT's life has been like off the field. All that man really has anymore, besides whatever money he has, is his number, his legacy with the Giants, and his Hall of Fame credentials. Because his legacy off the field has been tarnished. So I get sometimes when guys are like, no, that's all I got. I don't want to give that up. Go make your own thing. I'm okay with numbers being unretired, but yeah, there's just that delicate line, boundary you have to establish of like, okay, like, yeah, Abdul Carter, I'm going to do that for. If the Giants had drafted Kyle McCord, I don't know if if he wanted to wear 11, I don't think I'm doing that for him.
Right. And I just love the idea of like 30 years from now, you're sitting in the stands with your grandkid who I'm going to affectionately refer to as Billy Dipshit.
Okay.
And Billy Dipshit asks you, hey, why is so-and-so on the Jets wearing number 10? Didn't they retire it for so-and-so? And you could be like, well, they did, but here's the story about number 10, and this is why he was special, and this is this player, celebrating his legacy and that sort of thing. And I think that's really cool that like you have players that want to do that and they want to acknowledge the past and they celebrate the guys that came before them, because like talking about like Phil Simms, for example. Phil Simms played 30 years ago. Like there's a whole generation of Giants fans that's never watched him play. Never mind Ray Flaherty. Like I didn't even know number 1 was retired or who Ray Flaherty was before that. And you could say, oh, that doesn't make you a real Giants fan. You don't know about Ray Flaherty. It's like, all right, buddy, you don't need to gatekeep here. Like I didn't watch Elston Howard play with the Yankees. Like Look, I just think that we should be looking more to, especially especially nowadays with so many guys getting their numbers retired, you're eventually going to run out of numbers anyways. Like I feel like this is a great way to like celebrate the past and also like have that for the present day.
And one other thing teams could start embracing too is, and the Rangers have done this, and I don't know how many other teams, but you can retire a number multiple times. Like if you have two, like the Rangers with Mark Messier and Vic Hadfield, and listen, Vic Hadfield's from like my uncle's era, but he was an important Ranger. He was one of the only 50 goal scorers in history before Adam Graves, who wore number 9, who also the Rangers retired twice because of Andy Bathgate, another guy from the 50s that was a Hall of Fame player, one of the top players in the league for me. So I'm okay with that too. If there are 2 people in your history that have won that, retire twice. It's fine.
I mean, the Yankees did that with Bill Dickey and Yogi Berra. So like, I don't know. That's how I feel about that situation. I think it's a great idea.
Now, to me, the ultimate sign of respect ever shown about a retired number is when the Bruins retired Phil Esposito 7 and Ray Bourque was wearing 7, and Esposito had no idea this was coming. When they retired his number, he was like, yeah, it's fine. Ray can wear the number. Like, whatever. At the ceremony, Ray reveals like, hey, I'm wearing 77 now because that's yours. That's retired. And that's yours to keep forever. Appreciate you letting me wear it, but now it's yours. And to me, that was the ultimate sign of respect for a retired number, somebody that came before you. Now, speaking of hockey, I've been waiting to dive into these bad boys for a while. So without further ado, let's get into some Topps Series 2 hockey.
Chasing that Celebrini rookie card. I hope you get it.
And I have a whole hobby box of this that one day we'll do a whole rip on that. So let's get that in the middle of the screen. A little Ranger marker there. Okay, so first out of the pack, we got Teddy Bluger. All right. Mr. Wi-Fi himself there. Capitals eliminated the Canadians. Well, let me tell you something. Canadians are going to be a team to be reckoned with next year. Faux show. Let's see here. We got Joey Decord. Cool looking shot there with the Kraken. Corey Perry, who's still having an impact on the game, even at his advanced age. He's still he's one of those guys, you love him on your team. You don't like him when he's against you.
Oh, he's very much a fuck that guy. Like if you're watching a playoff series against the Oilers and you're like, how's this guy still doing this? I can't stand this fucking guy.
Now we got a couple of we'll save these. We'll go through the base cards, and we'll do all the inserts and stuff. We got Torrey Krug. Missed most of the season with the Blues this year. Still having a good season. They got a chance. Listen, and coming home for Winnipeg tonight. I think the series is going 7. I don't know what happens in Game 7, but I think St. Louis takes care of business and at least gets it there.
I think we see playoff Hellebuck and the Blues advance.
You know what? I'll say, and I said this on Total Hockey Now yesterday. It's not going to erase the reputation, but if he can close a series out by giving up 1 or less goals on the road, that will at least be one big step in the right direction of slaying that dragon. Doesn't totally erase it, but he would do a lot for himself if he could there. Let's see. We got Jeremy Lazone with the Predators there. We got your favorite Devil, Curtis McDermott. And then,
Curtis McDermott. Yeah, I mean, one of the all-time greats there.
Yeah, just again, one of the best. Then we got Sean Corrali, Columbus Blue Jackets. Now let's get into.
You'll have to put that Curtis McDermott aside when you send me that care package.
Yes, you know what? Let me do that now before I forget. And then, all right, so we get to the. So we have an ooh la la insert here with Jake Ottinger. I like that one. Nice card.
I like that one too. It would be nice if Jake Ottinger could make a save.
That's true.
That'd be nice. That'd be the ooh la la that Dallas could actually advance.
Dallas to win in 7 was plus 220 yesterday, and I think that's exactly how it was going to go. I'm like, all right, Colorado will win tonight. Dallas will get it in 7. So we'll see how that goes. I thought that was a smart one, and that's the a parallel there. There's the base insert. So if you like it so much, you can have it twice.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice they gave you both.
Yeah. And then we do have a Young Guns here, but it is Vasily Ponomarov with the Carolina Hurricanes. Sorry if I butchered the name there. Don't know about that prospect, but
not gonna play in the playoffs.
Probably not. And then last but not least, Upper Deck Portraits, Liam Ogren of the Minnesota Wild. Good looking card there. Not the guy we're looking for.
Not quite. Although I do like the presentation on that card. I think that's pretty cool.
All right, so now let's go with pack number 2 for the day. Let's go to Brandon Tanev. There's definitely a few Kraken coming out in this pack. There he is. Then we got Lucas Reichel, a young budding talent for the Blackhawks, perhaps.
I think talent might be doing a little heavy lifting there. He hasn't really done a whole lot in the NHL yet, but he's young. He's a former first-round pick. There's still time.
All right, so this pack definitely going to have a little more punch to it than the previous pack. We've got Walker Dewar from the Calgary Flames there. Marcus Foligno looking sharp in those Minnesota Wild uniforms with the old North Star colors. Throws it off with the red Wild bar at the bottom there. It all, almost makes it look like an error, but it's not. Mr. Leg Sweep himself, Jalen Chatfield.
That's another one of those F those guys. Yeah, fuck Jalen Chatfield and his mouth full of missing teeth.
He's like a C-list version of Brent Burns with his look. It's like a Timu version of it, as Christopher Morez would say. We got another
Timu version. Yes.
Yeah. We got Jordan Stahl there, current captain of the Hurricanes, probably in one of his last seasons there. That's got to be a game against the Devils or the Islanders because you see PC Richard and Son on the boards there. So that has to be a game in New York.
I would guess Islanders because I saw a little blue in the crowd there. So I guess it could be Rangers as well. But
there you go. There's the Islanders jersey.
Oh yeah, you could see it right there. So yeah, definitely playing against the Islanders there. And look, he is a great shutdown defensive center and a matchup pain in the neck. And I will not miss him whenever he decides to hang it up, which hopefully will be in about 2 weeks when Washington ends their season.
Also, face-off wizard, just a guy you don't win a lot of draws against. A guy you could win a lot of draws against, Casey Middlestat.
Is he that bad in the dot? I had no idea.
He is mediocre. But I mean, just in general, Middlestat not living up to the potential there that when he was back on Team USA and all that.
It's not great that he's on his 3rd team already, and he's like 25. And it's one thing for like Buffalo to give up on you because Buffalo screws up a lot when it comes to this sort of thing. Like Colorado was also like, yeah, you're not good enough to play for us.
Let's see here. Excuse me, Connor Garland, Canucks. And then last of the base cards here, your old pal Vitek Vanacek.
Oh yeah, VTech, the VTech. Look, I love VTech. He's a personality. He's not someone I want tending my goal at the NHL level, but he would certainly be. He's definitely a room vibes guy, and that's the sort of thing that you'd be looking for with that.
And as a backup goalie that plays 1 out of 5 games behind a team like Florida, fine. He's fine for that. And he played well with San Jose when he did get his chances. Like, listen, considering the team he had in front of him, he did all right. Did better than Georgiev.
Yeah, he did. It's funny too because I considered Georgiev to be the better goalie, but yeah, maybe he's not at this point.
And we got our 3 inserts here. We got the on-tour set with the Detroit Red Wings, Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond. Definitely a top-notch combo there in Detroit, although the eyes are playing otherwise not really working out all that well.
And how about Dylan Larkin basically throwing the Iser plan under the bus? Is like, we didn't do shit at the deadline.
And honestly, as a team like the Red Wings, where you have that wild card spot was wide open. Anybody could have had it if they really wanted to go after it. And at what point, and I understand there's a plan, but like Detroit's used to be like they were in the playoffs every year for 28 years or whatever it was.
And I know they had for like 7 straight or whatever. Yeah, like how many Dylan Larkin prime years are you going to waste?
Yeah, and Larkin's a hell of a player. 2 more cards to go here. A guy who went home last night but had a hell of a season. Quentin Byfield. There's the O-Peachy glossy there.
Nice.
And then last but not least, the guy who had a hell of a series, and the Christopher Merez is going to want this card if he sees it. Young Guns Retro, Nick Suzuki.
What the hell is that?
So that looks like an intestine that's kind of coming out of him there, doesn't it?
I was gonna say that is a weird that's a weird design choice for a card.
Looks like an old decrepit orange red octopus tentacle. Like what is that? Is that a Kraken mistake? Like
I guess, but like that'd be appropriate for the Kraken. How's that appropriate for the Canadians?
Like I was excited to pull this card, but now that we're breaking it down a little bit, I'm like, oh, I might like the O-Peachy or the.
I mean, I like the cell shaded look of it. It's just a weird design choice there with like I guess that's supposed to be like a clouded dust, I guess. But like, why is it like wrapped around them like a tentacle? I don't know. I don't get it.
If somebody from the upper deck design department just happens to catch wind of this, we're going to make a short out of this. That's for damn sure. Happens to catch this on the video, please reach out to ripnriff@gmail.com. Explain to us what exactly that is supposed to be there.
Yeah, like, look, my big dumb brain is not processing this. Like, I just don't get what you're going for.
No, I have no idea what we're doing there. And I think that's probably a good time. There's your Curtis McDermott card. Let's move on to the world of football here. Let's do some throwback football there. Some 93 tops, like we said, 1 gold card in every pack. Looking for a black gold card. Those are rare, but you do get those. We needed that ripping sound effect.
Oh yeah, the old wax pack. You like that?
Now let's start here, and this this is a classic look. Chris Dishman, the Houston Oilers. There, that was like, I had a lot of these cards. Some probably buried in a closet somewhere as a kid. Like, very simple, but it gets the job done. Good pose there.
Yeah, that's a great look. It'd be nice if the team that originally was in charge of it and didn't, whatever the whole Texans Oilers. We've discussed this on the show before with them being uber protective of the Oilers legacy. And by the way, what legacy exactly? What exactly did the Oilers win?
I mean, they were a strong playoff team there and exciting to watch, but not much beyond that. I mean, they got to I want to say they got to the AFC Championship maybe 2 or 3 times before they moved to Tennessee.
Oh, congratulations. That's like protecting the Phoenix Suns legacy in like the mid 2000s. This is like awesome. Great.
Oh, there's no besmirching of Sean Murray in the Matrix on here. Okay. So bite your tongue and take it back. We got Mike Saxon from the Cowboys here. Punter. John Hand from the Colts. We're off to a riveting start. Let's see. Oh, we got the Buccaneers draft picks here. And the one guy you will recognize on there, current 49ers GM John Lynch on the right there.
I certainly do. Although it's nice to see that John kind of slimmed down a little bit because he's got a little chubby cheeks there.
You know what? That's what that was probably pre training camp. They practicing. That was, and he's probably still practicing in a day where they would run you into the ground 5-6 times a day.
He was probably grabbing cheeseburgers with Mo Lewis.
I mean, nobody grabs cheeseburgers like Mo Lewis. We got Ray Childress from the Oilers there, another Oiler card. That's a classic look, that old Dolphin look in the Oilers. That's awesome. We got Carl Pickens from the Cincinnati Bengals, who was a pretty good wide receiver for a few years there.
I feel like anytime we pull Carl Pickens, it's like, yeah, he was a good receiver in his day. I mean, it's factually correct, but I don't have anything to add other than that.
That's basically, I mean, that's probably going to be what's on his headstone. He was a pretty good receiver.
Pretty good.
Not quite Pro Bowl, but not a guy you minded in your starting lineup 16 games a season. We got a Dana Stubblefield rookie card here, a draft pick. That's a pretty good one.
There you go.
All-time defensive lineman there. Eric Metcalf. A lot of Oilers on either the card or the background there, but one of the all-time great punt returners and kick returners with Cleveland there. Let's see. We got Ken Harvey with the Cardinals. A guy I watched a lot as a kid play for the Jets, solid defensive end, Kyle Clifton.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got here? We got another kicker. We got John Casey from the Seahawks. At least he was a good one. You want to talk about all-time
John Casey played forever, by the way. Like he was in the league in the mid-2000s.
He was probably in like Madden 2007 still. Got Jeff Fiegels, another great punter there with the throwback.
He's another guy who was in the league, and he was in Madden 07 because he was on that giant Super Bowl 42 team.
That's right. Listen, if you can win faceoffs, you will have a career in hockey into your mid to late 30s as a fourth liner that takes defensive zone draws and stuff like that. If you can kick a football well, punting or kicking, you'll go as long as you can do that well. That's screw teaching your kid how to throw a fastball or a breaking ball. Get him punting in the yard.
Is there a better match, by the way, of name and team than Jeff Fiegels, the Eagles punter?
It's almost like a fake name. It's almost like, like...
I think they made it up.
You know what it's like? It's like back in the day when video games didn't have the licenses for the teams or the players, so they had to come up with...
They made up names, yeah.
Yeah. And the punter's name was Jeff Fiegels for, the Eagles, or maybe that's too cute. Maybe the team's name was the Hawks, and they made it Jeff Fiegels. That's how you would. Couple more cards to go in this pack before we get to some baseball and a starting lineup figure 5. Ernest Biner, one of the better running backs. He's probably in that Carl Pickens class. Was pretty good running back in his day.
Yeah, pretty good. You know what? When I die, I hope my tombstone says, he was pretty good. Pretty good guy.
Pretty good poker player and editor, Jared.
No. We've established I'm a pretty mediocre player. Good editor, top-notch content, but average play.
Average poker player. All right, I'll make sure that that's something like similar to that is what goes there. We do have
that when you give my eulogy.
We have our Topps Gold card. It's a team leader insert set, but unfortunately, it's a guy named John Vaughn. At least he's wearing those classic Patriots uniforms there.
That he is. Shout out to Coop. And shout out to John and Pema. John and Pema would be a big fan of that card with that look.
I mean, if he wants it, just reach out. He's got my number. He could text me. I'll ship that bad boy to him. No problem if he wants it. And last but not least, one of the best running backs of all time, base card, Emmitt Smith.
I've heard of him. He's okay.
The game where he played with the fact that he played with, what was it, a separated shoulder or whatever it was, and his running style was not Barry Sanders, where you can make the argument, okay, the shoulder's not, it's going to hurt, but he would still ramming people with that shoulder. I mean, that's when men were men. Some people.
Oh, yeah. When guys, guys today are soft.
Yeah. They couldn't, they wouldn't, I'm not going to go down that path because and end up going the other way. So there we go. Topps football there in the can.
There we go. And I'm glad with when we pulled the Browns card, we didn't do 15 minutes of the whole Shedeur Sanders debate because I'm glad we didn't do that.
There's a lot of topics I could have done the Rip and Rant on, but I'm not about that energy this week. So
no, I'm not. Look, there's a few stories in sports that I am beyond sick of and just don't care. Shedeur Sanders falling in the draft's one of them. But I think the number one story of that this entire week is anything pertaining to Bill Belichick and his 28-year-old girlfriend. I just don't care. And I think Awful Announcing posted this maybe like a month ago or so, where they post like a clip from like the podcast they do where it was like, how should we discuss Bill Belichick's relationship with I don't even know her name, but anyone who watches, anyone who watches knows what I'm talking about. How should we cover this relationship? And I just quote tweet it and I reply, don't. It's none of your business. I could care less what Bill Belichick's doing. There's a lot. I got a lot of things going on in 2025. The last thing I need to think about is Bill Belichick's sex life.
And I'll say this, and people are like, oh, it's this typical, young lady trying to take advantage of an old man. I'm not ready to say Bill Belichick maybe doesn't have some long-term plan. Like maybe this, listen, I don't care either. But if Bill Belichick really didn't want this, he'd end it. So unless there's something hiding, he's a grown man, and maybe he's outfoxing her. Maybe he's got some long-term, I don't know. But beyond the case, let's get to baseball here.
Yeah, let's get to baseball. Enough of Bill Belichick. But we'll get right into this pack, and it looks like we're going to start this right off the top with an insert rookie card of the stars of MLB. Unfortunately, it's a rookie card of Vaughn Grisham. So, in terms of the stars of MLB rookie cards, probably not the one we're quite looking for there.
That's all right. We got 2 packs. It's not over yet.
Oh, we do have 2 packs. And we'll go. That was actually supposed to be the last card in the pack because I did it backwards. So we'll go from front to back here. Luis Guillorme, the former utility guy of the Mets. I'm not sure what team he's on now, but obviously the Mets are not missing him. They're off to an incredible start, which is surprising me. I was not buying the Mets going into the season. In fact, I think I even said on the show, I will hammer every Mets under, and it looks like that would have been a poor choice had I done it. So I'm glad I didn't.
But I also thought that the schedule they had the first month. I know they're playing Arizona now, but they were playing a lot of not great teams. I'm not trying to crap on it, but something.
Oh, they were beating tomato cans. You could say it.
Yeah. So let's see. As we get into the season here again, you got to play all the games on your schedule. All the wins count the same. So
yep,
good start.
Jake Irvin rookie card here with the Washington Nationals. We'll see if he actually winds up being anything. No, in our luck, probably not. This guy has pitched a lot better of late for the Yankees. Unfortunately, this card is still not flattering because it makes him look like he's maybe 20 pounds overweight. Carlos Rodon.
I think we've pulled that card before.
Yeah, I have or you have before because I definitely made the Carlos Rodon fat joke before.
Well, those are the Nike jerseys, right? If I see the check on the jersey.
Yeah, I mean this is 2023, so yeah,
those were not great jerseys either back then. So
yeah.
Didn't do you any favors.
Yep. Let's see. Manny Pena, catcher for the Athletics.
Don't call him Sacramento.
Don't call. I did not. I don't know why you would even bring up Sacramento. Zach Eflin, the pitcher. Well, now he's with the Orioles, but here with the Rays and sporting the Devil Rays jersey there, which is a cool look.
I always call him Zach Elfin. I know that's wrong.
I kind of want to call him Zac Efron.
I mean, maybe he should play him in a movie.
Zac Efron plays Zach Eflin in the movie.
The biopic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is Zach Eflin doesn't have an interesting enough story where it's why are you making a movie about him? He'd have to do something that's really interesting. I don't know if you ever saw this quote from Bill Simmons when they were pitching ideas for the 30 for 30s, back in the day when they were doing all those. And I think at one point somebody pitched why don't we do one on the Devils dynasty teams, those Stanley Cup teams? And he was like, yeah, no, we can't do that. We can't do a 30 for 30 on that. Nobody would watch it. It's too boring.
And that's the thing. What's the hook, the angle there? Oh, they figured out the neutral zone trap and how to just suffocate teams to 2-1 victories all the time. Yeah, that's having me stay up late to watch.
Oh yeah, and you know who I'm sure is dying to go on camera to talk about all of this? Lou Lamoriello. Let's see. Tatis and Machado sport new threads with those very summery looking San Diego Padres uniforms.
I don't like those Padre uniforms. I know some. I don't
care for them either. Let's see. Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado share a laugh. Maybe they'll share a laugh again together one day if the Yankees trade for Arenado. Probably not, though. Let's see. Michael Stefanik with rookie card here with the LA Angels. Yeah, we got a lot of heavy hitters in this freaking pack. I'll tell you that right now. Acuna and Arcia plague NL pitchers. I don't like these specific cards where it's these moment cards with multiple players. Not what I'm looking for.
They should be few and far between. Like the moment should be obvious, you know?
Right. Like if I want a specific moment, like I'll go on the Topps Now website and pay the $10 for those specialty cards. Cubs rookie Matt Mervis like throwback look card, which certainly like the look of this card.
Glossy finish from those old late 80s tops there. Yeah.
Yep, and the classic look on the back there as well. And last but not least from this pack, All-Star Game card of Yandy Diaz, who will probably be traded from the Rays at some point because they don't pay their players because all they do is churn and dump.
Maybe they'll make some money off of selling pieces of the damaged roof from the Tropicana field.
Oh, man, I can't stand that organization. But that's neither here nor there. All right. We got another Stars of MLB card. This is a much better one because we got Kodai Senga with the Mets. So
very nice.
That's a pretty cool one. And Kodai Senga's a pretty good pitcher. So,
and it's a rookie. So I mean, everybody's happy with that one. That's a poll of the day candidate.
Now, what's funny is, oh my God, the first 3 cards of this pack repeated. I swear to God. In fact, I'll show you the duplicates because the very first 3 cards of this pack: Luis Guillorme, Jake Irvin rookie, Carlos Rodon, Manny Pena repeated. So the first 4 cards, and I have all the duplicates right here. So this isn't me like,
it's not sleight of hand.
No, this isn't me pulling a fast one. Like here's 2 Manny Pena cards. Like.
This is like a repeat of my Upper Deck National Hockey Day packs from 2 years ago.
This is the weirdest thing I've seen so far on this show. Like literally, like just a repeat of the pack. Now it's stopped there, and we have a few other, at least unique cards, so we can get into. But I just found that really weird. A Juan Then rookie card with the Mariners. Let's see. Braden Bristow rookie card with the Tigers. Yeah, I could really plan my retirement with this pack. Stuart Fairchild with the Reds.
Sounds like a fake name.
Jason DeLay with the a rookie card with the Pirates. Cooper Hummel. Who the fuck are these guys? I don't know who any of these fucking players are. And I follow the damn sport. Holy shit.
Cooper Hummel sounds like some retired army general from 2 wars ago.
Oh my gosh. Thaddeus Ward. Thaddeus Ward sounds like a guy who played like the president in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely a presidential name in a action movie.
Yeah, so it's appropriate plays for the Nationals in DC. There's his rookie card. And that Jordan Walker rookie debut card as well there.
All right, so that maybe saves the pack a tiny bit, but
not really. Yeah. I mean, the Kodai Senga card saved the pack, and the fact that the 4 first cards of that pack were the same order as the other one, and you can't plan this. I literally just pulled the 2 packs
right out of the box.
Well, it was in a box. I think this was a Toy Wiz order, but yeah, they probably pulled it out of the same box would be my guess. And the fact that it was the first 4 cards of 2 consecutive packs like that, I've never seen that before, and I don't think I'm ever going to see it again.
That is crazy. That's to get not just one card or 2, literally the first third of the pack essentially.
Right.
So, well, hey. Let's see. So for polls of the day here, I'm going to bring the West Coast Rip Cam back up on the screen for a minute. I got some candidates here. Got the John Lynch rookie group photo there. We got the John Vaughn Topps Black, Topps Gold. Got to throw Emmett Smith in there. It's you got the Ooh La La parallel, hollow parallel there. On tour with the Red Wings, Quentin Byfield, the O-Pee-Chee glossy. But I mean, our young guns. Octopus intestine, whatever we're calling it. I think that's the winner for me.
That's the winner for the week. That's by far the best card pulled this week. My nominee would have been the Kodai Senga card, but you got to go with that one.
Yeah, we got to go with that one. So there we go. There's our poll of the week, brought to you by nobody. So if you want to, maybe get in on that, be trying.
Sponsor us so we can get better cards than this, so I don't pull fucking Luis Guillorme in 2 consecutive packs. I mean, come on.
That's basically the reason we want. We can pull better boxes, better packs, all that good stuff. So there we go. And then that'll do it for that portion. So now it's time to get to everyone's favorite, the starting lineup, figure 5.
Oh yeah, I get to play a guessing game. That's
you
fun.
get to play a guessing game. Everybody loves that. It's the best. We're gonna do hockey today, and you know the deal. Jared's got 5 questions and then a guess to figure out who's in the box. Let's start. Music. Give it a second, otherwise it blurs us out. Without further ado, you may ask your first question.
Okay. The team that this player is known for, primarily, did his team make the Stanley Cup Playoffs this year?
It's an interesting question because he played on a few different teams. And you can make the argument he's known for a couple of those teams. But the team he's pictured as is, yes, they made the Stanley Cup Playoffs this year.
Okay. Did this player ever win a Stanley Cup?
He did not win a Stanley Cup.
Okay. Is this player in the Hall of Fame?
No, he's not.
Ooh, this is interesting. All right, so you said the player is pictured with one of the playoff teams this year.
And I'll take it one step further. They've survived the first round.
Okay. Survived the first round. Is this an Eastern Conference team?
Yes.
Is this player a forward?
I'll help you out here. He's a goalie.
He's a goalie. Mm-hmm. Eastern Conference team who's team advanced, and he's a goalie, but he's not a Hall of Famer and didn't win a Stanley Cup. So that really doesn't really narrow it down a whole lot. But you can look at the teams that have advanced, like Washington and Carolina and Florida, and now the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I'm going to take a total stab in the dark.
Okay.
Is it my guy and yours? Is it Ole the goalie? Ole Kolzig.
Ooh. We use this phrase a lot. Right church, wrong pew. And not the case there. Yes, sir. Mr. Curtis Joseph is the guy. And that's why when you ask a question, like, Curtis Joseph is one of those guys where, like, you can make an argument where, like, you know him as a Blue, you know him as a Leaf, you know him as an Oiler, played with the Red Wings. He had you won't remember his stops with Calgary. You might remember his stop with Phoenix, but yeah, Curtis Joseph. Not a Hall of Famer, very good goalie for a very long time. He made Team Canada games a lot. I wanted to open this one today because zoom in there, you can see the actual mask, the mask he had.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that detail.
They, the later era ones with the goalie mask, they actually started to really do the detail right. Like the signature masks, like the Mike Richter Liberty, the Marty Brodeur with the NJ, or the Curtis Joseph with his, Cujo. Stuff. Good stuff.
Good stuff, except for the fact that we're not opening this week, so
that's fine.
Maybe it's not that good.
Now, I did pull that. I didn't put a ton of time into it, but I did wanted to get somebody in the Stanley Cup playoffs, so I didn't give you an easy one. But nonetheless, good effort there. The fact that you even got Ole the goalie, that means you were in the right area. Just because he was a very good goalie for a long time with the Capitals, but never really did anything. He did get to the Stanley Cup Finals, but they were swept by the Detroit Red Wings when they won their back-to-back. That was the year that they were playing for Vladimir Konstantinov, who had gotten severely hurt previous year after the previous Stanley Cup victory. So there we go. And maybe Jared will get it next week on the figure 5.
Who knows? Maybe I won't.
Maybe you won't. I mean, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune in. And we're going to have to wrap things up here shortly because I'm at that one time of the day where the sun creeps in through the blinds and gives me like a, as you can see here, like almost like a lightning bolt stripe across the top here. No starting lineup studio audience this week. Gonna be honest, been a little bit of a rough few days here. Lost a member of the, what I like to call the Fernards, which are our pets, you know, where the Bernards call them the Fernards. This is the only one that did not have fur. Late last Friday, had to put down our friend Chili Cholula Bernard. Beardy's lived to the age of 5 to 10 years old. She got to 9. Started to show signs of old age and declined quickly last week, and had to find the vet to put her down last Friday afternoon. So she was a companion behind me for many years, whether it was studying for vet tech school or producing or whatever. So we love our animals here. We're both all about that. She deserves her moment here, and she will be very missed. She, as I put on her headstone, she wormed her way into our hearts here in this house. So happy trails, Chili.
Yeah, happy trails, Chili. I don't have anything to add to that.
All right. And listen, I know sometimes people are like, oh, reptiles and stuff like that. It's not a dog or a cat. Listen, pets are pets. You have your connections, and yeah. So she was a good one. She was a good first bearded dragon experience, and she'll never be forgotten. So shout out, Chili. But that does it for this edition of Rip N Riff. We will be back next week, and then we're taking a week off after that because I'm going to Disneyland week after that with the family, not by myself. I mean, I would probably have more fun by myself. I'm glad to take my 5-year-old, but I'm not looking forward to the end of the days when somebody can't walk anymore and all that good stuff. That's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, you get to enjoy the real joys of parenthood there.
So what we did, we were smart. We got 3 days in Disneyland, and then 2 days we're doing nothing but going to the beach for mom and dad. She likes the beach, but so that's going to be 2 weeks from now. But we got one more coming next week. Also, next week is the annual birthday edition of Rip N Riff.
Yeah,
because our birthdays fall 3 days apart. So not sure what day we'll be with you next week, but we'll call it the birthday edition of R&R. And of course, don't forget, Jared, he's got his Devils coverage. He'll have all the off-season stuff at allaboutthejersey.com. Also, YouTube at Jared Moore Poker Shorts, correct?
Yeah, if they don't get stricken for age restrictions anymore, that would be nice. But in all seriousness, yeah, they freaking Google and their stupid AI and however they flag stuff. I mean, AI's. I know that people say AI is the future. AI is going to be the death of all of us.
Don't talk bad about the AI on something we're recording and releasing that the AI is eventually going to come across. We talk nicely. We're AI friendly here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we want the AI to be good so people actually see this. Like, that would be nice.
I just don't want to piss off the AI. Like, I like AI. I got no problem with you. If you had a name, let us know. But we want to make you happy. And of course, Total Hockey Now. New episode dropped yesterday. We do talk a little Capitals, Canes, and also give a little breakdown for tonight. Game 6, Jet Set Blues. You said you like this series to go 7. You like Hellebuck to be playoff Hellebuck tonight.
Yeah, I think it's a tough environment going into St. Louis, and St. Louis has been good at home. So
I think we're going 7. I think maybe. Well, I mean, also Mark Scheifele's health is going to be a big factor.
Didn't even travel, so
for Game 7, I mean, because I mean we're assuming it's all going to go there. Maybe Hellebuck has a playoff reputation. He does something to vanquish that a little bit, but not the way St. Louis is playing. So there we go. A little Blues Jets there. But that does it for this edition of Rip N Riff. For at Mr. Jared Moore, I am at Pucking Thoughts of Adam Bernard. Back with you next week. All new episode of R&R. Thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in.